Hello, and I'm your fine host, Sugoi. In today's video as well, I'm out in Death Note. Now, I usually don't make videos like this, but every now and again I do. I say every now and again. Have you looked at my Maggie video? Oof. But, Death Note. Now, Death Note is well an anime. If you didn't already know, you're most likely not here for that, but if you are new, or if you need a little refresher, let's go over that. So, Death Note starts out with an introduction to our main character, and most likely to be infamous, Light Yagami. Now, Light is no average kid, he's on the top of all of Japan. Quite impressive. While in English literature, what is the Japanese form of what an English class would be? Would you just call it Japanese? But he's in that equivalent of literature in that side of the world. While he's sitting there reading Shakespeare or something, when we're done, we sit down, we take a gander out the window from our class, 2 stories high, average style for some reason. Well, we take a gander outside and what'd you have it? A book. Not any book, but he goes out there to inspect the book. It's the Death Notes. And then he reads those infamous lines. The human whose name is written in this note shall die. And this encounter with the note leads to the events that transpire in Death Note. Now, that is what you call basic branding of an introduction. So, if you haven't watched it, I would suggest you watch it. But, spoilers. Because this is about a character that's... they could have done a little bit more justice. So... now the point of the video, Miss Naomi. Now, I have one question. What did she do? What did she do in these series as a whole? Now, you may be able to say, well, she theorized that Kira could kill in other ways than heart attacks, so making her a potential threat for Light, which means that he had to do her in before she could do anything. Now, in truth, you are correct. But... it still doesn't answer the question. What did she do? She didn't influence the plot anyway. But me griping about an anime that's 10 years old now? Yeesh. But she did nothing. And I stand to say they could have made her do a little more than just offing her with the first encounter. Yeesh. But that's kind of where it's at. It's they just offed her, and I'm like, okay, because I've watched it I watched it several times through. I think it's fantastic. Would you address it as a show? I don't know, but I consider it fantastic. But it's just, man, they off her so fast. It's why bring her in at all if you're going to just remove her almost immediately? Now, I have no knowledge of what happened in the manga. I assume fairly close, because anime and manga, but sometimes since they are different mediums, they do change a bit of things. Have you seen a Kami ga Kill? Ooh, that's something. But between anime and manga, it does change because they're different mediums of media. But as far as I know, it's roughly the same. But I've actually looked into this, and apparently... the author had reasons for removing her so easily. He wanted her to be a better character, but he accidentally made her too good of a character. Now, I found this excerpt on Wikipedia. Don't mind me on the Death Note Wikipedia, but I've tried to find if this was a reliable, quote or excerpt, but... it's a little hard to find that, because also apparently there's a bunch of people, faking being him, too, which is weird for some reason when you just fake to be the author. But, it says, he initially planned for Naomi to have a long involvement in the story, but underestimated the character's deductive abilities because she was able to uncover crucial plot information faster than thoughts. So... he decided to end her character early to avoid facing complications with the story development later on. He described the storyline issue of Naomi as the greatest difficulty that he created for himself since the beginning of the series. Now, a series is based around, outthinking your opponents, and the fact that this random-ass FBI agent that he's created was able to solve this case faster than the greatest mind that he made is. It's impressive to think that he accidentally created someone so much greater. But I think of this as two things, honestly. Funny as hell, and kind of unfortunate. Funny because the character, he made it so good by accident that writing her as not solving the case would give you a false representation of her character, which is crazy to think about. And then unfortunate because she was a decent character, she had a motive, she had a substance, but they did nothing with it. They killed the character off before they could do anything with it. But I mean, what I'm more or less getting on is they could have had her, do a little bit more than just... They could have had her do a little bit more than be found by lights on accidents. Like, there was no thinking or anything. He thought, did I leave anything behind? He, stayed up for, like a whole fucking night. And it's like, oh shit, did I forget anything? Walks to the police station. Just normally walks there to go do things because, he's incognito. No one knows who he is. He's not even involved in the case yet. Except for they're like, well, it could be it, but we're unsure still. And then Naomi's there, and he overhears her, and that is bullshit in my opinion. But I guess that's how he wanted to do her in. I hate that, but I guess that's how he wanted to do her in. But I guess that's the biggest problem with the character. They just offed her too easily. It's so stupid, but that's my take on that scene, I guess. I don't know. An opinion's opinion. It's on the internet, but it's your boy Sugoi signing off, I guess. Because that's all I really gotta say. Just, I don't know, wanted to say something about it.